earlier that this time they have to empty the tank. She has to make Olivia feel her the entire course of this game through baseline to baseline. That's something that she has to make sure that she does better. She said, they don't call our defense Stress Virginia for nothing, but I make sure that I set the tone in that she was given the nickname, Jordan, give me that Harrison. Coming into this tournament, she already has 101 steals. She said, I'm trying to add to that tonight.
She had 4 steals in the win yesterday to go along with 15 points and 5 rebounds. Suarez has gone for 20 or more in 7 of her last 10 games as they take the ASB glass floor here in Kansas City. Little bit of a different look here for the championship. I see the team colors on the court as the teams take the court. West Virginia in blue, TCU in whites. Time to play for a championship. The Big 12 Tournament Championship in Kansas City is underway. Here's Donovan Hunter to Marta Suarez.
And one thing Mark Campbell likes to do is try to get Silva involved offensively early.
Hunter left open, can't hit the 3, misses everything. It'll be West Virginia basketball as they'll bring it up the court with the starting 5. Led by the point guard, Jordan Harrison, Gia Cook. Top scorer for this team, Sydney Shaw, good 3-point shooter. Carter McCray, the glue on the offensive end. And Mimi Wheeler, someone you'll see work hard in the post against Suarez. Outside, too strong from Cook. Second chance here for West Virginia and Shaw.
Shaw needs to get going for West Virginia if they're going to get the win here today. Really slow offensive games in both the earlier 2 matchups.
5 on the shot clock. Cook shut off by Silva, thrown outside, and down goes Harrison. Shot clock violation, turnover number 1 for West Virginia.
Well, it's a dead ball turnover for West Virginia, which allows them to set up into this full court pressure. Mark Kellogg saying we need to be more disruptive in the backcourt for us to get the win.
Starting 5, Taylor Bigby, who's played well. Donovan Hunter, good defensive player. Miles, Suarez, and Clara Silva. Familiar starting 5 for this TCU team, which has won 8 in a row. Regular season champs for a 2nd straight year. 2 3-point attempts that have missed the iron so far for TCU. And Suarez is going to get called for a foul, knocking down McCray.
I think we're seeing just a little bit of nerves on these first couple of releases. Both these teams and these young ladies want this win, but that is a big foul for TCU. In their wins on this season, Marta Suarez has avoided foul trouble. In their losses, she's had to sit a majority of the games.
Cook defended by Bigby. Back out to Shaw. Here's Harrison. Back out top, wide open look. Sydney Shaw, good shooter for 3, couldn't get it. McCray got in there, but touched it last. It'll be TCU basketball. Mark Campbell in his 3rd season as TCU head coach. Officials are talking things over right now to see which team touched it last. Alicia Grinter and Mike McConnell have a little conversation.
Yeah, I agree with that call because I definitely thought it was going off the white jersey on that touch.
West Virginia basketball. 2 teams looking for the first points in this game. Provided by Jordan Harrison. 33rd made 3 for Harrison, not known for her outside shooting. She's going to take it to the basket. Quickest player on the court, but finds the range from outside. Miles, Hunter, Suarez. Rebound to Shaw. Here is Harrison on the push. Harrison, another look for 3. Too strong, and Suarez has the rebound.
West Virginia 4 shots in this game, all from deep so far.
Silva drops it back for Miles, and Miles drops in the 3. 35% from beyond the arc this season. 65 made 3s for Miles, who will fill up the stat sheet in multiple columns here tonight. Another three-pointer for West Virginia. Too strong, and Suarez has the rebound.
West Virginia obviously has a size disadvantage against TCU, but I would like to see them try to play inside out to force some rotations by TCU.
Miles to Bigby will try for a three. No, TCU has been way off the mark from the same spot of the floor 3 times so far.
Eric, there have been 10 shots in this game. Only 1 has been inside the arc so far.
Three-point shot has been a big part of West Virginia's success offensively in recent weeks. They have not had success from beyond the arc against TCU in the 2 meetings this year. Good TCU defense getting the stop, and here's Miles. Miles with the kick. Suarez looks to drive. Wheeler with the rebound.
A lot of pressure on Mimi Wheeler in the half-court defense to face up against Suarez.
Transition three knocked down by Sydney Shaw. Second in the Big 12 in threes made. Came in with 84. Made triples on the season. And Harrison with the steal in the backcourt. Stress Virginia. Open for business. Timeout called by TCU.
West Virginia averages 11 steals, already getting it going with a Defensive Player of the Year. Harrison shooting the gap for the 2.
Harrison for West Virginia. Let's take a look at what you need to know now, presented by Intuit TurboTax. How about the keys today, Christy?
Well, it goes back to the previous 2 matchups. West Virginia had a lot of success when they were able to draw fouls against TCU and get to the free throw line. The success by TCU at the three-point line is why I believe they've got to do a better job defending the 3. Right now, West Virginia, in terms of three-point percentage defense, 319th in the country. And then finally, TCU has to take better care of the ball than they do in the 2 previous matchups.
TCU with an early timeout. Angel Gray, Mark Campbell must have had a few things to get off his chest.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Eric, he started with relax, telling his team, it doesn't matter what we call. If you do not relax, we're going to continue to turn the ball over. He said there's no flow on the offensive side, no post touches before that last break. He said there have been no drive and kicks. He is challenging them to be better and no one-handed passes, as that just turned into another steal for West Virginia.
Well, a turnover by TCU. Here's West Virginia looking for something on the offensive end, out to a 5-point lead. Cook trying to get around Miles. Good feed to McCray. Rolls it in for 2.
Well, I think a key for TCU right now is the ball fakes. They're telegraphing passes, which is why West Virginia's been able to shoot the gap and get these turnovers.
7 straight points for the number 2 seed. Get to Charlie Cream and what he thinks this matchup means in the big picture. It has a big impact on what the NCAA tournament could be thinking about for these 2 teams, as Olivia Miles gets the bucket. She's got all 5 for TCU. Mimi Wheeler looks to back in Suarez. Mimi's not afraid to mix it up inside. Suarez standing her ground, but Mimi fighting through. Honorable mention, all-conference selection in the Big 12. Grad student from Minneapolis with her first points.
And you see the matchup zone by West Virginia.
Harrison gets called for the foul, a little too aggressive on Suarez.
Well, you have 2 playmakers for TCU. One just happens to be the point guard, Olivia Miles. Drives by the post player. Why is Wheeler on her? Because they're in the matchup zone. That's the matchup, and TCU tends to exploit as soon as they see who is defending them when West Virginia's in the matchup zone.
Veronica Sheffy on the floor. She's played a really good tournament for TCU. She inbounds it. Kennedy Basham is on. TCU has 2 6'7" players. Silva starts, and Basham comes off the bench. Both are 6'7". Suarez with 5. Look at Harrison all over her after just picking up a foul. Hunter has to launch from deep. And Basham goes over the back.
Well, Jordan Harrison only knows one way to play defense, and that's all out. You saw how disruptive she was because Suarez could not try to get any kind of advantage. She's looking to play make. She's looking to get her own shot, and it's just moving the feet, the active hands by Jordan Harrison.
Clara Bielefeld, freshman from Germany. She's 6'4". She comes into the game. Played 10 minutes yesterday against K-State as Suarez checks out for TCU. Bielefeld defending Wheeler. Wheeler trying to back in the freshman, who stands her ground. Miles wants to push. Swing over to Hunter. Harrison recovers defensively. And now Miles will set things up.
So for TCU, so much of their offense is predicated on that middle third on-ball screen and then just lets Olivia Miles make decisions.
We have seen Olivia Miles heat up from beyond the arc. She made 10 threes, going for a career-high 40 in Waco against Baylor a few weeks back. She has all 8 TCU points. Cook on the hesitation. Sheffy. Last touch by Cook. It'll be TCU basketball.
I ask every opposing coach, how are you going to defend the on-ball screen against Olivia Miles? And they all just say, you got to have multiple ways, because if you go over the top, she turns it and gets a layup. If you go underneath, like West Virginia just did, she'll make you pay from the 3.
Sheffy into Hunter in the front court. Miles surveys inside of 3 to go here in the first quarter. Miles look away to Basham for 2.
Olivia Miles just makes difficult plays make easy. The no look on the money for that easy 2 for TCU.
So Olivia has scored or assisted on all the TCU points so far, as Basham's got the rebound. Remember, Miles had foul trouble yesterday, picked up her 3rd foul just 3 minutes into the second quarter, didn't play for the rest of the first half, but she's in rhythm right now. That one in and out. Basham knocked it away. West Virginia basketball.
I think as long as Wheeler has Bielefeld number 16 defending her, I would like to see West Virginia play some inside out. Get Wheeler a touch near the low block and let her use her strength to try to get to the rim. That means McCray needs to pull Basham number 0 away from the basket to give Wheeler a better opportunity.
Here's McCray at the top. They do go inside to Wheeler against Basham. Can't score. A lot of size down there for TCU to reach up and get the rebound. Miles. Hunter will reset inside of 2 to go in the first quarter.
Shaw just face guarding Olivia Miles in the corner right now. That is one thing West Virginia wants to try to do. When Miles gives it up, don't let her get it back.
Sheffy on the turnaround. What a tournament Veronica Sheffy is having. 10 points in 20 really good minutes against K-State. 7 points, 4 steals in 19 minutes in a win against BYU in the quarterfinal round. Seven unanswered runs for TCU to tie it at 12. Shot clock winding down. Cook, defended by a 6'7" player who gets the block. Shot clock violation, TCU basketball.
Well, TCU feeds off the offense, and it's Veronica Sheffy with that little turnaround, great touch as she's fading away. And now the defense is fueled, and Basham with the rim protection as the shot clock was going down.
We've talked quite a bit about the West Virginia defense and how they turn you over, but don't forget that TCU's defense, number 2 in Division I in opponent shooting at 33%, number 1 in scoring defense in the conference at 56 points a game.
And 16th in blocks per game. And that's one thing Mark Campbell wants. He wants length on the floor. And I think where TCU excels defensively is forcing you into bad shots.
Shot clock at 4. Miles is going to have to go. Takes a peek up. Tried to make the extra pass, but shot clock was expiring, and here comes West Virginia off the TCU turnover. And Miles with a silly foul. That's her first as she bumps into Harrison.
Miles has to have a better idea of time and score. Shot clock was way too low for her to try to get that other pass, and then she compounds that mistake with the foul in the open floor.
So Miles will go to the bench. 8 points and an assist in the first quarter. West Virginia had a 7-0 run to go up 12-5. TCU on a 7-0 run right now. I think they're just making sure the shot clock is turned off. 21.2 on the game clock. Mike McConnell just trying to get it straightened out with the scores table. Taking a long time to sort this out.
Well, it's ironic because all three officials are saying the same thing to one another, and then someone else will say the same thing to them.
Why don't you say it too? If enough of us say it, we'll play. Game on. Shot clock is off. Game clock winds down with Harrison defended by Hunter. West Virginia has missed their last 5 field goal attempts, but that streak ends with Harrison hitting, and that will end the quarter. Hunter to Big B, won't get a shot off in time, and it'll be West Virginia in front at the end of 1.
It's the defensive player of the year who's creating offense for the Mountaineers. Jordan Harrison knows time. She knows how.
Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal Jordan Harrison, an expert in many things.
Well, she's an expert, and right now, a lot of things. The defense has been stellar and disruptive. She's knocked down the 3. She's 3 of 4 from the field so far for West Virginia, but it's been the full package on display. Push and pace, seeing the floor, setting her teammates up for good shots, and of course, in true Jordan fashion, steal to score.
Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. That marks 3 straight years that a West Virginia player has won that award. J.J. Quinterly, of course, had that award for 2 years for Mark Kellogg, and now Jordan Harrison taking the baton from Quinterly. Second quarter underway with Harrison starting the offense. Sydney Woodley into the game, number 2 for West Virginia. Celia Riviere also on, number 37. Suarez back on for TCU along with Miles.
And that's a versatility of Marta Suarez. She can switch and get on and defend the guards.
Woodley trying to take it at Miles. Well done by Sydney Woodley, senior. Gets her first points. Didn't score against Colorado yesterday. Scored 2 points in the first win for West Virginia here in Kansas City against Arizona State.
Where right now, West Virginia is doing a really good job in the 2-3 matchup. In terms of points for TCU, they are getting the majority of them. And by majority, I mean 8 of them against the player-to-player. They're struggling against the matchup zone.
Shot clock winding down again. Suarez going to have to try to make something happen. And she did not get the shot off in time. Shot clock violation. Turnover number 4 for TCU.
And TCU undersized, but right now 10 of their 16 points are coming in the paint. I like how they're moving the ball side to side right now to force TCU into rotations.
Here's Riley McAlusky on the floor for West Virginia. Harrison in round 1 against Arizona State, which is actually his second round matchup. 10 points, 5 assists, no turnovers, 3 steals. And that West Virginia win. Shot clock winding down. Feeds it inside, but she turns it over. Miles with the steal. Miles back to Suarez. Excellent 3-point shooter. Not this time. Second chance here thanks to Donovan Hunter for TCU. Kick over to Hunter for 3. That one is off the mark. Miles with an offensive rebound. West Virginia was a +6 in rebounding margin in the first quarter, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Olivia Miles. Two on Miles.
And really fitting that it's Jordan Harrison who rotates over. I think she got there before Olivia even left her feet.
All right, so 2 fouls in the first half. A lot of players would come out of the game at this point, but not Olivia Miles for this head coach.
We see it game in and game out. Mark Campbell has faith in his veteran players. Again, this is one of the oldest lineups in the country at TCU. There's a lot of experience on the floor. Mark Campbell expects Olivia Miles to understand she's got 2 and play smart.
Maybe Wheeler, no. Basham with the rebound. So Miles with the 2. Remember, she had 3 in the first half yesterday. 3 fouls is a bridge too far for Campbell. He did pull her out with the 3. Basham pulls away as Riviere has the rebound. Here's Cook. West Virginia does want to push offensive tempo whenever possible here against TCU.
Well, I think it's twofold. Higher percentage looks at the rim, but also allows West Virginia to exploit their speed advantage one-on-one to get to the rim.
Mark Kellogg thought that was one area where his team was lacking in the 2 losses to TCU, right?
Yes. But in order to run in transition, you need to get defensive stops.
Wheeler caught the rim with the shot clock winding down. Inside of 7 to go in the first half. Riviere out on Suarez. Miles, defended by Woodley. Miles down the lane, count it, and 1. Olivia Miles into double figures, a chance to add to it at the line.
But there's the first time off screen set so far away that Woodley gets under and gets matched back up. But then Olivia Miles, tremendous change of pace, rubs her defender right into that screen to turn the corner and get the and 1.
Previous play, guys, Jordan Harrison was standing in the gap, sliding over to take the charge. She is now on the bench, but on that last take by Olivia Miles, she is on the bench trying to direct the defense where they need to be, how they need to anticipate. You know this, Christy, having a floor general that understands and has the ears and the trust of everyone, she is demanding them even from the bench what to do on the defensive end.
Well, Angel, I'll rage you. She's not the floor general. She is the true coach on the floor for West Virginia.
Cook delivers with the 3, her first points. Gia hit the big 3 with 32 seconds to go to put West Virginia in front. Was 1 for 6 yesterday, but that one was a big one. Here is Bigby with the answer for 3. 50th 3 she's made this season. Making her 15th start. TCU again without Maddie Shear, who was in the starting 5 but been battling a back problem. TCU hopeful to have her back for the NCAA tournament. And that's going to be a foul called. I think it's on Donovan Hunter.
Yeah, she ran through the screen.
Yeah, I thought so. That's the first on Hunter. So Harrison back on the floor. Shaw on the floor. Basham will sit down as Silva is on for TCU. And Wheeler will put it into play with West Virginia up by 1. Miles versus Harrison. Miles knocked it away as Harrison tried to feed it to Riviere. Miles is telling Mark Campbell, review, appeal this play. But that second bench is going to be the final word for TCU, looking at the iPad and looking at the review. And now the appeal coming from TCU. Miles was adamant that she didn't touch it last. We'll see what the replay shows. We'll get the announcement from Mike McConnell.
The ruling on the floor is TCU number 5 caused the ball to be out of bounds. TCU is appealing that ruling.
So we'll step aside as well with West Virginia up by 1 at second quarter here. In case, got to be honest, a lot of people are interested to hear what Charlie Cream has to say about the impact of this game, and those people are fans of TCU and West Virginia. Officials still talking it over, by the way. West Virginia trying to get into that top 16, TCU trying to be a 2 seed, so that's what's at stake in the big picture. According to Charlie's latest bracketology, Charlie will break it all down at halftime, I'm sure. Our 3-person officiating crew has been trying to break down this play. It is appealed by TCU, and here's the announcement.
After review, the ruling on the floor is overturned. It'll be TCU ball with 30 seconds on the shot clock.
All right, let's take a look here. Looks like it goes off the leg of Riviere, 37 in blue. We just couldn't tell if it grabbed Olivia Miles on the way out on these 2 angles. that we had.
Well, I didn't see the ball, once it hit Riviera, change that spin at all. So that's why I felt like it would be TCU's ball. And that's a big call, because had TCU been wrong, that would have been their second timeout already in this game.
Successful appeal, doesn't cost you a timeout. Suarez trying to find the range, still looking. Marta Suarez now 0 for 5 from the field.
But give Wheeler credit. Her defense away from the basket on Suarez has been really good so far.
Cook trying to get around Hunter. Wheeler in there, ripping it away for the rebound, but then Hunter takes it away from Wheeler.
One thing Mark Kellogg told us is that doesn't matter full court or back court, we need to be more disruptive if we're going to beat TCU. I don't think playing 5 feet off of Donovan Hunter is what the head coach had in mind.
Suarez trying to work on Wheeler. Shot clock winding down. Suarez leans in and gives TCU their first lead of the game. Suarez averaging 17 points a game. That's her first 2. Harrison. Great matchup here. Hunter, excellent on-ball defender against Harrison, who's tough to keep up with. Once again, the shot clock winding down. Shaw, rebound for Silva. TCU has turned up its defense, holding West Virginia to 5 points here in this quarter. Hunter, no. Silva, the foul. Say walking up the court, I can tell you the ESPN Hockey Night doubleheader starts tonight, 7 Eastern time. The Olympic gold medalist Jack Hughes and his Devils hosting fellow gold medalist Dylan Larkin and the Red Wings. Connor McDavid and the Oilers will be in Vegas taking on another Team USA gold medalist, Jack Eichel and the Golden Knights. That's all NHL tonight, ESPN.
Jordan Harrison in the first quarter, 3 of 4 from the field. She has not attempted a shot since then. TCU is playing her for the drive right now and the pass. She needs to hunt her shots more.
Shaw. There's Hunter with good hands again. Shaw, Miles on the blow-by. Another miss. Offensive rebound, though, for McCray, and there's foul number 3 on Olivia Miles. I think Mark Campbell may develop some trust issues with leaving Olivia Miles on the floor with 2 fouls in the first half. For the second consecutive game, she has picked up 3 first-half fouls.
Well, how about West Virginia? Undersized, but already 7 offensive rebounds, and that was a huge one because it puts Olivia Miles on the bench.
So you asked Mark Kellogg about this in the pregame, too, and he talked about when Olivia Miles picked up her 3rd foul yesterday against K-State. K-State wasn't able to take advantage. This is a big chance here for West Virginia with the best player for TCU on the bench to try to do something in this championship game. I think they're going to adjust the clock here.
But another offensive rebound for West Virginia to keep the offensive possession alive. And yeah, we talk about the player of the year. There's a reason she's player of the year. She is that impactful on both ends of the floor for TCU. And so when
the shot clock is under review for a possible failure to reset.
And so this pseudo timeout gives West Virginia a chance to reset. And I'm sure Mark Kellogg right now is drawing up a way to get a high-scoring look, because you got to go on a run when Miles is on the court. It's one of the things I track in games is what does this TCU team do when she's not on the court?
All right, as they review the clock, we'll step aside for 30 seconds and be back to Kansas City in a moment. All right, officials still at the monitor here in Kansas City. The question is whether or not the shot hit the rim. I don't believe it did. Here's the announcement.
After review, the ball hit the rim. The shot clock is being set to 17.
Oh. I think that's hitting the net that's sticking out a little bit, but what do I know?
Well, at some point, I'm sure when you were playing as a youngster, your coach told you, doesn't matter what you think, it's what the official calls.
But see, I'm used to that, though. Like that was my definition of nothing but net, like hitting the outside of the net. I know when it hits the outside of the net.
I agree with you on that one, though. Isolation for Wheeler here.
Wheeler will try from the outside, a little too strong.
Oh, Basham got away with a hold there on the rebound.
She kept backing up McCray, but no call. Hunter running the show with Miles on the bench. Even though Miles is on the bench, Suarez more than capable to pick up the slack. Mark Kellogg irate with the defensive breakdown for West Virginia.
Because he knows with no Miles, everything's going to go through Suarez.
Shaw gets the roll. West Virginia had missed 5 straight shots before Shaw got the friendly bounce.
And here's the other thing. Pick up your defense intensity. Do a little run and jump at Donovan Hunter. She runs a lot of point for TCU, but she's obviously more of an off guard. Make her have to make decisions going at full speed.
Inside of 90 seconds to go in the first half. Big B. Almost traveled. Shot clock winding down. Suarez will launch from deep. Too strong, and McCray with the rebound. Harrison. Suarez gambled for the steal. Sheffy on the floor for Miles like she was yesterday. Harrison. And a foul's going to be called on Suarez, and that's going to be 2 on Marta.
When TCU has struggled throughout Big 12 play, they have committed a ton of fouls, averaging 16 fouls, and that's allowed their opponents to score over 20% of the points per game. You've talked about how good this defense is in the half court. How do you score? Get yourself to the free throw line and put down the freebies.
First trip to the free throw line for West Virginia comes in the final minute of the second quarter. Harrison delivered at the free throw line in the final minute yesterday in the Colorado win, and then came up with the steal to finish the game and give West Virginia a 1-point win and send them on to the title game of the Big 12 tournament for a 4th time in program history. They won the 2017 title. And that's going to be a 10-second call. Hunter just didn't get it over in time.
That's an example. You make players have to play faster. They're not, in terms of what they're not used to doing. Hunter not used to have to handling and get so much pressure. Turnover.
But this goes back to what you're talking about, right? With Miles on the bench, she's the center of everything they do. If TCU's got the ball, she's not out there to handle it, so put the pressure on them.
And one of the great things about Miles' game is she never gets sped up. She plays at her pace all the time.
Shaw will launch for 3. Sydney Shaw, top 3-point shooter in the Big 12 at 41%, rattles one in. Great finish to the quarter by West Virginia to go on top by 3. Suarez staying on the floor with the 2 fouls as TCU holds for 1. 7-0 run for West Virginia.
This has got to be Marta Suarez getting a touch here, either screening the ball and popping or her in the low block area.
Sheffy will try for the 3 and the tie. No. Tipped and then kept alive by TCU. Sheffy gets a second chance for the tie, and that's off the mark. But West Virginia rides a 7-0 run to the locker room and a 3-point lead, thanks in part to 3 fouls on Olivia Miles in the first half.
Mark Kellogg just picked up the defensive intensity when Miles went to the court, and that defense fed into the offense of West Virginia.
West Virginia with you. Your biggest takeaways from the first half, Christy, as we get ready for the second half.
Well, West Virginia's ability to get on the glass. They're +7 in this game. We keep talking about how they're undersized, but a lot of heart and effort right now by the Mountaineers.
Angel, you had a chance to talk with TCU head coach Mark Campbell.
Yes, and he since the word of the huddles for his team was relax, I asked him how his team was able to do that throughout the rest of the half, and he said, we had 5 turnovers at the first media. They only had 1 in the final 15 minutes. So yes, they improved, but he still feels like on the offensive side, they're over dribbling. They are stagnant, so he's challenging them to move a little bit more on the offensive end, and yes, improve on the glass on offensive rebounds.
Miles with it. Remember, 3 fouls for Olivia Miles in the first half of the second straight game. Suarez, turnover by TCU, first possession of the second half. That's number 7 for the Frogs. Jordan Harrison sets for 3 and missed the mark. One thing TCU maybe could flash back to is the most recent meeting in Fort Worth. West Virginia led by 6 at halftime in that game. TCU at that big third quarter, 24-11. But TCU has turned it over, and Olivia Miles has picked up her 4th personal foul. 39 seconds in to the second half.
Well, in true Jordan Harrison fashion, she's just reading the eyes of Miles. Little fake there. That's a tough one for Miles because she's standing there and Harrison comes down on her.
Miles goes to the bench after the free throw here, if it's made by Harrison. So Harrison is in the double figures, and Miles will go onto the bench for how long would you guess? I mean, 15 minutes of game time? It's going to depend on the score, obviously, for TCU, right?
Absolutely, and then I think it's a matter of where Miles will play kind of token defense and just let her player go. And we know that Mark Kellogg, because this is the 3rd matchup between these 2 teams, will be dialed in looking to exploit that as soon as Miles comes back on the floor. But third quarter time is Marta Suarez time, with or without Miles on the court. Eric, here in Kansas City, Suarez, 19 points in the third quarter, 8 of 12. The rest of those quarters around that, 9 of 33 from the field.
Wheeler picks up her 2nd personal foul. So a lot on Veronica Sheffy right now. Number 2 comes on. And remember, we talked about it before, 20 minutes yesterday with Miles in foul trouble and played well. Suarez kicks it back out. Bigby. Bigby finds an opening, can't finish.
That was a good stump there by McCray. Just kind of jabbed at her to get her at her rhythm. That is Bigby as she went up.
Shaw drops it back. Wheeler from the outside, too strong. Anything change in how TCU plays this game? Do they try to slow it down? They try to stretch out the possessions. They try to get it to Taylor Bigby, who can hit threes.
I don't think so, because this is a TCU team that they do play with a faster pace than a year ago, and that's because of Olivia Miles. But they play better when they're moving the ball and moving with pace. But I think a lot, you said a lot is on Sheffy. I think a lot is on Hunter. She's defending Jordan Harrison, almost face guarding her because she's normally the one that initiates the offense for West Virginia, but she will be a primary ball handler against the press.
Shaw gets it to drop. She's got 10. Hunter across half court. Suarez. Turnover TCU. Cook's going to take it at Hunter. Donovan Hunter stood her ground, but guess who's there to grab the loose ball? Jordan Harrison.
She just never stops. Jordan Harrison assumes misses, continues in transition to get that offensive rebound and extend this possession for West Virginia.
Well, Bigby will come out. Talia Parker will come on for TCU, her 19th game of the season. So Mark Campbell moving down the bench here a little bit with Miles on the bench with 4 fouls. And right away, Parker being tested, and the rebound for Silva. Suarez straight away. Nope. Last touch by Silva. West Virginia basketball. Angel.
Hey guys, just a gentle reminder, when we were catching up with Coach Kellogg before the game, we were mentioning that this is the third time that they've been able to see TCU, and for their offense, they had to do things differently. He said we had to amp it up on the defensive end by creating fast break opportunities. Right now, they are winning that category 7-0. Them getting steals and pressuring, we're seeing what they're doing to them in the full court press.
Three minutes gone by. This is a surprise. Olivia Miles is at the scorer's table to come into the game next dead ball. Cook can't hit. Rebound for Parker. Hand off to Hunter. Hunter on the drive. Off the window. Won't drop. Basham was bumped on the rebound and a foul called on West Virginia. So is this the poker equivalent of Mark Campbell putting his chips into the center of the table, with Olivia Miles coming out with 4 fouls and 6:35 to go in the third quarter, Christy?
Yes. But this is where Olivia Miles is an experienced player. She has to play smart. Now, what will be key is when TCU's on defense, how does West Virginia go at her?
Suarez pushes inside for 2. 7 out for Suarez, and count the basket and a chance for a three-point play. Gia Cook with the and one.
Well, Angel just told us West Virginia wants to play faster in transition. The pass ahead to Gia Cook, she recognizes TCU's not solid on defense. She accelerates by the defender, no one there to rotate to her, and she gets the and one.
Can't finish off the three-point play. Shaw fighting for the rebound, and a jump ball will give possession to West Virginia.
I just can't say enough about the activity of West Virginia on the glass right now. Undersized, but has 10 offensive rebounds to this point in the game.
You're talking about the backboard and not the glass floor. We've had to, kind of make sure we keep that clear here this week in Kansas City with this unique playing surface. Here's Harrison. Tough shot with Hunter there defensively. That's batted out of play by West Virginia. TCU will have it. Four-point lead for West Virginia, the number 2 seed. Their largest lead, 7, came in the first quarter. Here's Hunter.
The press changes if Olivia Miles has the ball or if she doesn't have the ball, because they want to try to pressure the ball handler.
Parker's going to take it down the lane. Can't hit. McCray's got the rebound. Now Miles trying to deny Harrison.
Well, she doesn't have to play defense on her with the ball and potentially draw a foul if she denies her the ball. But it doesn't matter. Harrison too fast and gets the ball.
McCray looking inside Wheeler. Wheeler got the bucket. First points in the second half for Wheeler. Been a struggle from the field. Came up with some winning plays yesterday in the semifinal victory over Colorado. Parker. Suarez for Miles.
This is make Miles a little less aggressive, trying to get all the way to the rim as she starts settling for jumpers.
Can't hit the 3. Harrison's got the long rebound. She's going to take it right at Hunter. Turns her around, throws it up. Can't get it to drop, and Silva's got the rebound. Miles doesn't get too aggressive. Bring it across half court. Hunter.
Mismatch. Suarez, I don't know why she left the block. She had the height advantage on Cook.
Suarez on the follow for 2. 9.6 boards for the first team all-conference selection, Martha Suarez.
Mark Kellogg getting his set play in the game now.
Cook. McCray. Back out for Shaw. Can't get it to drop. McCray takes it away from Miles, who can't fight for many loose balls or rebounds in her current status with the 4 fouls. And there's going to be a lot of times where we see Miles just has to disengage.
Well, think about it. She's been on the court, and she has not tried to turn the corner with the ball in her hands.
Harrison with that quickness gets tripped up by Parker. And that will get us to immediate timeout with 3:41 to go in the third quarter. Drama building here in Kansas City with West Virginia on top.
West Virginia's doing such a great job on the glass. 11 offensive rebounds. McCray just rips it.
The glass floor, the full LED video floor that's been in use this week. Some of the different looks throughout the week for teams. Starting lineups have been really cool here. Players have really loved that. Personalized for each player, as this is being used in a full competition in the States for the first time. May have seen it at All-Star Weekend a couple of years ago for the dunk contest, three-point contest. So seeing it here in action for these 15 games of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Women's Basketball Tournament.
Today's look might be my favorite.
You like the colors?
I like the team's colors on there. I always like that pop of color.
Yes. So here comes Olivia Miles and TCU. Miles with the 4 personal fouls. A lot of time left in the third quarter. Shaw going to try to take it at Miles. Now Cook shut off by Parker and Bielefeld, who's back in the game. Wheeler, Cook throws it up and in.
I really like that take by Cook, because while you want to try to go at Miles, it can't be your singular focus. The focus still has to be to get points on the board.
Hunter had to take a tough shot. Basham couldn't get the follow. Hunter kept it alive. TCU doing a better job on the glass so far in the second half compared to what was happening in the first half. Miles had to launch, and it's a shot clock violation. So 11 turnovers, Christy, for TCU. Remember February 15th, the meeting at Fort Worth? TCU had 10 total turnovers in that game, a big reason why they beat West Virginia in the most recent meeting.
Well, I'll say this again. When TCU has struggled in Big 12 play, the Achilles heel has been the turnovers, because it's been twofold. It's allowed teams not to have to go against the half-court defense. It's also allowed teams to get some easy scoring opportunities at the rim.
Harrison for 2. Jordan Harrison, as Christy talked about right at the top of the telecast, she is the Defensive Player of the Year, but do not sleep on what she's able to do offensively. She's got 13 points to lead all scorers today.
And I go back to that second quarter when West Virginia was struggling to score. Harrison did not attempt a shot. I like that she's looking for her shot here in this third quarter. Back to the matchup zone for West Virginia.
Bielefeld on the turnaround. No. Wheeler with the rebound. Shaw sees Miles guarding her, takes it at her, and ends up throwing up a wild shot. Now numbers back the other way, but West Virginia with their speed getting back in transition defense. Miles will try a 3.
If I'm West Virginia right now, I try to go over the top of every on-ball screen, because Miles does not want to risk getting a charge call by trying to get all the way to the rim off of that high on-ball screen.
Wheeler for McCray. Won't drop, and Parker picks up the rebound.
Wheeler assumed that one was going down, so didn't get the inside offensive rebounding position.
Mark Kellogg doing all he can, getting a big cardio workout, trying to get his team's attention to change things up defensively.
And now the coach on the floor changes it up for him, and that would be Jordan Harrison.
Jordan Harrison's like, Mark, I got this. I've been your starter for 4 years, 3 at West Virginia, 1 at Stephen F. Austin. I know what you want when you want it. But Mark was into it.
Changing the defense. I mean, his team plays like him, really energetic, going out, just selling out right now. But I love Jordan Harrison, just kind of was like, I got it, coach. 10% of Marta Suarez's points on the season come on these baseline out of bounds. She's been the focal point.
They're going to call a foul on Basham, who's the one who's knocked down. So the foul on TCU. And that's going to put the Frogs over the limit in the final minute of the third quarter. Double-digit lead for West Virginia. Mark Campbell's team has been outscored 14-7 here in the third quarter.
That fourth foul just flipped the game because it changes the mindset of Olivia Miles. So aggressive usually with the high on-ball screens, that middle third on-ball screen to turn the corner and pick defenses apart. You're seeing it now. She's settling for the outside.
I know no one's a bigger fan of Marta Suarez than you are and what she's done, and she has been a great performer for TCU. But Olivia Miles is the straw that stirs the drink.
Yes.
She sets the tone, the tempo, the intensity level, all that. There's times where she's cruising along, and there's times where she flips it up and hits a switch and goes. And right now, she has to cruise because of the 4 fouls, and I think it's just having that effect on the entire team.
She's the thermostat of TCU. Lane violation by TCU, so another free throw attempt for McRae.
Takes advantage.
For TCU, coming into today, 73 points a game are coming from the free throw line, or 3, or paint points. Only 14 paint points. We keep talking about how they have the height advantage. Suarez usually will take her defender off the bounce and back them down. But right now, and maybe this is going to be 2 for them. There you go.
Great feed by Miles as she finds Parker. Chance for a 3-point play.
They need to look to get the ball inside more, does TCU. They've been settling way too much for the mid-range game, which is not a big part of this offense. They want layups, they want threes, and they'll take the free throws too.
So Talia Parker, sophomore from Oklahoma City, who was at Texas A&M last season. Miles will check out in the final minute of the third quarter. If this game gets tight in the fourth, I would assume we'd see a lot of offense-defense substitutions for TCU. But right now, it's a 9-point advantage for West Virginia. Parker.
During the previous free throw, there was a violation, and the clock should not have started. It started, 3/10 came off, 3/10 are being added to the clock.
The other thing I'll say right now with this low-scoring affair, I think this favors West Virginia because this is a defensive-minded team.
Parker can't finish the 3-point play. Hunter peels away. Parker's first free throw attempt since January 11th against Arizona State. It's been a while. Final seconds of the third. Harrison pushes in 2 more. When Olivia Miles picked up her 4th personal foul, the score was 27-23. West Virginia on top. They're on top by 9 as we head to the 4th quarter in Kansas City. Trophy on the line as we head to the 4th. Sure, tested, presented by Nissan, and when you take on West Virginia or Stress Virginia, it is not stress-free. That defense doing the job against TCU today.
It's been disruptive, and this is what Mark Kellogg wanted. The rotations have been there. The communication has been there. The disruption has been there. And the frustration by TCU has been there because they just can't get into a consistent flow on the offensive end.
You can see the West Virginia numbers for the season and tonight, giving up just 32 points to TCU through 3 quarters. TCU averaging 78 points a game. 4th quarter is underway. Big beat for Silva. Silva looking to back in and score. First field goal attempt for Clara Silva. First points.
It's the paint points. I truly believe TCU needs to try to either off the bounce or direct entry pass, get the ball into the paint, use their height advantage.
You saw what West Virginia is trying to do when it comes to the advantage of being the #1 seed in this tournament. All time when #1 has faced #2, the #1 seed is 11-0 in the championship game.
Here's
Miles.
the matchup zone, the extra pass to the corner.
Bigby, good three-point shooter, can't get it to drop, and a rebound for Mochilovebasket. Harrison. Count it. It's a three. Sydney Shaw. She's got 13. 3 for 6 beyond the arc. Silva with the catch inside. Miles.
Stop short.
Bigby for 3. Another open look that's off the mark. Somebody's mouth guard, I think, is on the floor.
I think it's the shot tracker.
Or shot tracker, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so McCrary picks it up. Shaw would love to have Miles one-on-one, trying to take her off the dribble. Looks for the step-back three. Wheeler rips away the rebound and puts it in. And West Virginia extends their lead in the fourth. Silva. Suarez will try a three. TCU keeps trying threes, but they can't hit threes. 5 for 22 are the Frogs beyond the arc.
I said at the beginning of the broadcast, they needed Sydney Shaw to show up today. Set play called by Mark Kellogg. She takes her defender into the basket, that defender being Olivia Miles. Because of the foul trouble, she doesn't chase her. That left Shaw open when she flared low.
Foul called on Mochilovebasket.
Great pass by Olivia Miles.
Miles with the assist. TCU with the much-needed basket. But down a dozen here in the fourth. Silva with 4. Shaw against Miles.
I think if Shaw's trying to take Miles, everybody needs to get out of the way because now there's a switch with the on-ball screen.
Shaw takes it at Silva instead and will earn a trip to the free throw line to shoot a couple. You talked about it at the start of the show. Christy, your keys to the game. How have things played out in your eyes so far?
Well, you're seeing this now, especially because they're attacking Miles. West Virginia getting to the free throw line much more here in the second half. They're defending the three-point line. Just 5 makes for TCU so far. And the turnovers have really hurt TCU because they haven't been able to get on any kind of momentum swing. They haven't been able to stack great offensive possessions together.
Shaw's got 14, looking to match Harrison with 15 for West Virginia.
Well, guys, another thing that West Virginia is also asking themselves, especially in that last huddle, is the gut check. When I talked to Jordan Harrison before the game, she said we have to empty the tank together. In the huddle, what she was saying to our team is, who are we as closers? They had a problem with closing out against TCU in the previous 2. That was the biggest question on how they do that today.
Silva off the window, no. Kick outside, Miles wide open, 3 is good. First points of the second half for Miles. She's got 14. Again, she picked up her 4th personal foul in the first minute of the third quarter.
So one thing I'm seeing the last couple of possessions for West Virginia, because they're trying to run sets to go at Miles, is the pace is slowed for them. They were really good when they were picking up, trying to push in transition to get some of those high-quality shots.
Wheeler on the turnaround, can't flip it up and in, and Suarez has a rebound.
Here comes the on-ball screen by Suarez.
Back to Miles, looking Silva's way. Silva will come set the screen. Miles defended him out by Harrison. Good rip inside. Suarez just couldn't get it to drop.
Marta Suarez usually so sure around the basket in terms of finishing. You wonder if there's any fatigue creeping in for TCU right now.
Third game in as many days for these two teams. Both received the double bye for finishing in the top 4 in the Big 12. Shaw, 2 on the shot clock. Wheeler to beat the clock. And the rebound for Bigby. Suarez.
Here's the matchup zone again.
Silva, Bigby on the cut. Ducks inside for 2.
Really good ball movement against the zone by TCU. The extra pass by Silva to hit Bigby on that cut.
Inside of 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. West Virginia in no hurry, on top by 9. Tip by Hunter. Turnover, West Virginia. Suarez has it knocked away. Great recovery by West Virginia. That was West Virginia's first turnover since 4:39 to go in the 2nd quarter. They've been that good at taking care of the basketball, and then they had the defense on the other end after the turnover, and a timeout is called.
What's Wheeler? Extra effort results in an extra possession for West Virginia.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. These two teams met in the semifinal round of the tournament a year ago. That was a win for TCU, 71-65. TCU went on to win the Big 12 tournament title, looking for back-to-back, but it's going to take a comeback here today as we show you what's at stake. West Virginia playing to host the opening rounds of the NCAA tournament. Charlie Cream has them just outside the top 16. We don't know what the NCAA committee thinks, but I know you have some thoughts and some things to say about what you've seen from West Virginia all season long. And TCU with the win, trying to be on that 2 seed line. They will host at Schollmeyer Arena in the 1st and 2nd rounds. And remember, the 2nd weekend is in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena, about 3 miles from the TCU campus.
Well, if how you're playing right now matters. West Virginia 9-1, the only loss at TCU here in February. I think this is a dangerous West Virginia team because they've got great pieces. Wheeler being a case, McCray being another one. They can score on the inside. This is no longer just a defensive team that needs to score off of opponents' miscues. They can hit it as well.
Suarez can't hit a 3. Silva tried to keep it alive, but threw it into space. Nobody was there, and we'll get to immediate timeout with 3:39 to go in the 4th quarter. A double-digit lead here in Kansas City for West Virginia. On ESPN and also on the ESPN app. The 1-hour special begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Championship Sunday saw Duke with an overtime win over Louisville to take the ACC tournament title. Texas lead wire to wire and knocking off South Carolina for the SEC tournament title. UCLA impressively over Iowa for the Big Ten tournament title. The Big 12 tournament title on the line right now, and TCU trying to dial up the defense out of the timeout.
Well, they went to a little full court pressure, just did a little run and jump. They're just trying to speed the pace of this game up because as we've seen the better part of this 4th quarter, West Virginia working down low into the shot clock.
Harrison turned it over. Suarez takes it away. Miles will pull up for 3. Parker with the rebound. Back out to Miles. Bigby to Suarez. Suarez is fouled by Wheeler.
Marta Suarez so active coming out of that timeout. Active, forced the turnover, went in, then looks to attack off the bounce and draws that foul.
Marta Suarez at the line, shooting 2.
Wheeler with 2 personals. Suarez. Oh, the foul's on Harrison, correction. Harrison's got 3 personal fouls.
Chrissy, your assessment is correct on Marta Suarez, just accepting the challenge from Olivia Mouse, who before the timeout said, I need you. And she has turned to her and said, I got your back.
The dynamic duo all season long for TCU. When one has struggled, the other has not just picked up her teammate, but picked up this team. Can they do this? But it's going to have to start with the defense right now for TCU.
They get it. Miles has the steal. Can they turn it into points? Inside of 3 minutes to play. Parker getting an extended run for TCU here in the championship game.
And TCU doesn't need threes. They need to score quick. I would look to get it to Suarez and get downhill.
Big B tried the three. Parker tracking it down. Saved by Suarez to Miles. And then Parker getting back into the play underneath on the turnaround. No. McCray with the rebound for West Virginia. Mountaineers dodge one there. TCU had multiple opportunities.
And right now, with this 9-point lead, West Virginia does not need to be in a hurry. They do not even need to look to shoot the shot until about 5 seconds to go.
Inside of 2 minutes to go, Wheeler on the drive. Into double figures with 10. Kicked out Suarez for three off the mark. Time running out.
And if I'm Jordan Harrison, I want to try to keep the ball in my hands, but this is where right now you see multiple players running at her, trying to get her to pass.
Suarez gets called for the foul. Miles jumped out there to try to speed things up, but again, picked up her fourth foul with 9:21 to go in the third quarter.
And we saw how it flipped the game. Not only how Olivia Miles wants to play in terms of getting aggressive off the on-ball screens, but it also affected the play calling from West Virginia from that point forward.
Harrison will go to the line. Officials talked it over to see if it would be a shooting foul. Miles disputing it, but Harrison is at the line. 82% free throw shooter.
I got just watching both Wheeler and McCray. They're breathing so hard, but there's no way they're coming out of these games. These two undersized post players for West Virginia have played their hearts out. They've been great on the glass, and they've been really good defensively against the much taller TCU post players.
We talked about it. It was going to take grit and toughness. If it comes down to this game for West Virginia to be a tournament host, you can go back to the Greenbrier in the middle of November when West Virginia was down to 5 players. You talk about grit and toughness and finding a way. They did in that game to pick up the victory against Duke. The question in this game is, can TCU find a way? Suarez, after the three, a timeout is called in a 10-point game with 1:20 to go.
And so you got to believe that this is going to be more of that jumping defense by TCU, just trying to, one, speed up the pace, but try to force a turnover. For West Virginia right now, they've got 2 timeouts left, so most importantly, ball security. If they get trapped immediately in the backcourt, call a timeout and extend the possession. But meet your passes right now if you're West Virginia.
You leave Miles on the floor here on defense with 1:20 to go in the 4 fouls.
I think it dictates, is TCU going to start fouling? If so, get her off the floor. And then you're going offense, defense as much or as long as you can in this game.
Yeah, she's going to stay out there right now.
I think with Suarez on the floor, I'd almost put Miles all the way back and let others be the ones jumping and let Miles look to shoot gaps on long passes.
TCU will bring the pressure into the backcourt, as you would expect, with 1:20 to go in a 10-point game. Harrison's got it. Knocked away by Suarez, but McCray there for West Virginia. Suarez looking for the tie-up, and a foul is going to be called on TCU.
You got half the fans happy with that call, half the fans upset with that call. TCU believed that they had a jump ball.
Suarez picks up her 4th. That's the 3rd team foul on TCU, so one more foul to give for the Frogs here with 1:11 to go.
Here, especially if you're West Virginia, you want to meet the pass.
Suarez with 4, Miles with 4, as Harrison grabs it. Flipped up McCray, and a turnover. Not done yet as Hunter has it knocked away by guess who? Harrison, but then Suarez picks it up. 16 for Suarez, and a timeout's going to be called with 58.4 to go, so it's inside of a minute to go in the game.
West Virginia getting sped up, but They just need ball control, because right now TCU is trying to tie the ball up, and if they can't, they're looking for that quick foul.
So it's going to be a 30-second timeout. Jordan Harrison has been outstanding. Player of the game brought to you by Phillips 66.
Jordan Harrison, just the little engine, whether it's offensively or defensively, really quiet in that second quarter when West Virginia's offense struggled. But she started hunting shots here in the second half, blowing by defenders, getting and ones, looking for her shot, and it's exactly what the Mountaineers needed to get the offense going.
Harrison, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. That is a very typical Jordan Harrison stat line. Game face still on here. No time to celebrate for West Virginia. 8-point game, 58.4. Because it was under a minute, they advance into the front court. Magalewski into the game. Good free throw shooter. Miles is there. Suarez is there. One of them is fouled out. Suarez and Miles are arguing that it's a tie-up and should be a jump ball. The officials having a brief conversation, but this is going to be a foul here. But is it Suarez or Miles picking up her 5th?
I cringed when Harrison caught the ball so close to the sideline, because it made it easy to trap. Really hard for me to see from that angle if there was any need for that foul versus the jump ball.
It will be Suarez leaving the floor with her 5th personal foul. Sheffy comes on. "16 points, 8 rebounds for Marta Suarez. She is their top 3-point shooter, so when you're down by 8, you could use a couple threes. Your best shooter's on the bench.
And every out-of-bounds play recently has been Harrison running to the ball. Now she's being the trigger to inbound this ball cleanly.
It was the 4th team foul. Tough one for Wheeler to handle. Wheeler looking to score. Couldn't get it, and it's picked up by TCU. Time and score. Advantage right now for TCU, perhaps trying to take advantage of that miss, although Sheffy is fouled on the other end, and she'll go to the free throw line.
So, Eric, West Virginia didn't need the 2 points that quickly. Wheeler needed to pull it out and work more clock. Instead, TCU gets the ball and now able to put points on the board without any more time going off the clock.
So Sheffy at the free throw line. 10 for her last 10 at the stripe. Suarez trying to keep the energy up from the bench.
And Mark Kellogg just talking to Jordan Harrison, getting his play call in, because it looks like they're not going to call a timeout. They're instead just going to try to beat this pressure. 3 times TCU is picked up in the full court with this press. 3 turnovers by West Virginia. That time avoided with the timeout.
2-possession game. West Virginia takes the timeout, 38.1 to go. 56-50 West Virginia. Mountaineers with 1 timeout remaining. Miles still on the floor with the 4, but Suarez is done. West Virginia does have a foul to give.
Well, first and foremost for West Virginia, they have to get this ball inbounding cleanly. Every time it's been sideline out of bounds, it has been Jordan Harrison using her speed to come to the inbounder to get it in cleanly. If you're West Virginia, you don't even care about shooting right now. It is about taking care of the basketball, playing keep away, and run as much time off this clock, because it is a 2-possession ball game.
One added piece of information, the possession arrow belongs to West Virginia if there's a tie-up. So a lot of things in their favor, but right now it's a 7-0 run for TCU to make it a 2-possession game.
And Harrison, the farthest person away. This is about using speed to get open.
Harrison's got it again. Excellent free throw shooter. Down she goes. And a timeout called by West Virginia. And that will be their final timeout.
I don't blame Mark Kellogg, though, for burning that timeout, because ball security here, maintaining possession of the ball most importantly. Why that's key, though, If you can't get it in, it'll be a turnover. I like the last formation. Get Jordan Harrison away. Now, if I'm TCU now, knowing that the ball's going to Harrison, I double team her. I take the inbound defender off, and I'm looking to make sure Harrison does not get a touch here.
And this is no surprise that TCU hasn't quit. Their 4 losses this year, Christy, 3 one-possession losses. The 4th was an overtime loss that turned out to be a 10-point loss to Utah. They led after the 3rd quarter in each of the last 3 losses, but they've been playing catch-up throughout here because Miles got into the foul trouble, changed the way TCU played, as you would expect. But now with Suarez out of the game, TCU keeps battling. They're down by 6, but West Virginia has the ball with 34.8 to go. Sheffy will come into the game for TCU. Bielefeld will come in as well. And we just mentioned West Virginia just used their final timeout.
They're not going to allow the substitution of Bielefeld. She got to the table too late.
Now, Sheffy and Bielefeld went to check in, but they're back on the bench right now, so they'll have to wait to get in. It will be inbounded in front of the West Virginia bench by Riley Makalowski. The 6'7" Clara Silva in front of her.
And that's a tough area of the court to inbound. With 6'7" in front of you makes it even that much harder.
Into Harrison, defended by Hunter, who gives the foul.
Now, if I'm West Virginia here, I get my players off the free throw line, because you don't want to risk a foul. And it's Jordan Harrison who's clutch at the free throw line.
Sheffy will check in now as Silva will head out. Harrison 6 for 6 today. West Virginia 9 of 11 as a team. On the season, West Virginia last in the Big 12 in free throw shooting, 70%. But you wouldn't know it today.
This is a smart move by Mark Kellogg. He's putting a sub in, but he said he's going in for the shooter so that he can get the defense set on the made free throw, preventing. Oh, actually, he's getting Wheeler out, but that prevented TCU from having the ball inbounded quick and trying to score. Instead, they have to burn their timeout.
So they'll take a timeout and advance it to the front court. TCU with 1 timeout remaining. Harrison with 19 points to lead all scores. She's 8 for 8 from the free throw line, 12 for 12 from the line in the tournament for West Virginia. What is it that she doesn't do well?
Stop.
I mean, she
She's
does
always in
everything
motion.
well. Non-stop motion. She can score. The defender of the year, defensive player of the year in the Big 12. Clutch at the free throw line.
Based on this alignment, I think Olivia Miles is streaking right to the rim, and they're probably going to try to lead her to get a shot at the rim. Little time off the clock, points on the board.
.58-57 the attendance here at the T-Mobile Center. Highest total for a championship game in 13 years for the Big 12 tournament. Had a great crowd here yesterday as well, with K-State filling the building. Now we're trying to get the personnel squared away. It's going to be Sheffy coming back on, as Hunter will put it into play. 8-point game, 33.4 to go. Suarez is fouled out. Team leader in three-pointers attempted and made. Big B, good shooter, can't get it. Rebound Makalowski.
TCU's got a foul.
They don't get anybody. Here's Shaw all alone for the layup. 20 seconds left. 10-point game. Miles will launch a three and hit it.
West Virginia out of timeouts. They got to get the ball in.
They get it to Harrison. Again, hasn't missed a free throw attempt in the tournament. And finally, Sheffy gives the foul. But a lot of time came off the clock. 8.4 to go. And the celebration is starting for the Mountaineers.
I thought the first person that Mark Kellogg celebrated with was with Wheeler. Very fitting. Mimi Wheeler just did so many little things today for West Virginia.
10 points, 8 rebounds for Wheeler after a double-double against Colorado yesterday. Here's Harrison. Perfect again. 20 points for Jordan Harrison. Third time this season she's gone for 20 or more. Final timeout for TCU. 9-point game, 8.4 to go. And it's most likely just prolonging the inevitable right now. Remember, Charlie Cream had West Virginia just outside the coveted top 16 for the NCAA tournament field. He has them hosting at Hope Coliseum in Morgantown with the win here over a TCU team that's 29-4, the regular season champs in the Big 12. And we have been to Hope Coliseum. We know what kind of advantage that can be for Mark Kellogg's team. Think about it during NCAA tournament time. Last season, they lost on the road at North Carolina in the second round. Iowa in the second round a couple of years ago. But a chance to host would be huge for Kellogg and West Virginia.
In the two previous matchups this season, West Virginia both times only 50 points. Today, with still time to go, 62. I bring that up because this is a team that can score now. It's not just about the defense. That's why I think West Virginia is a very dangerous NCAA tournament team.
Last gasp for TCU. It will take a miracle for the Horned Frogs. Here's Miles. Time winding down. Miles with the heave. Couldn't bank it in. Picked up by West Virginia. Cue Country Roads. For the first time in 9 years, West Virginia, Big 12 tournament champions. Angels.